Welcome, viewer, as we venture into tonight's terrifying tales from Motel Nightmares, a trio of horror stories. In the dim light of dusk, a run-down roadside motel loomed, its neon sign flickering erratically, promising vacancy and a night's rest. The air hung heavy with an unshakable eeriness, setting the stage for a terrifying experience that would etch itself into the memories of all who dared enter. A couple, weary from their travels, checked into this seemingly innocuous motel, expecting nothing more than a place to rest. Little did they know, they were stepping into a chilling tale that would end with them never checking out. Their arrival was marked not by the warmth of hospitality, but by the cold anticipation of a story about to unfold. As night descended, the couple was awakened by unexplained noises, whispers that slithered through the cracks of the aging walls and footsteps that echoed in the empty halls. These sounds, with no discernible source, filled their room, turning their stay into a waking nightmare and setting their nerves on edge. Amidst the unsettling chorus of the night, a mysterious figure was seen in the window of a room that was supposed to be vacant. Its fleeting presence, caught in the corner of their eyes, sent shivers down their spines. This spectral sighting hinted at the motel's dark secrets, hidden just beneath the surface. Their terror escalated when the couple encountered an apparition in their room. This ghastly presence, a remnant of the motel's troubled past, confronted them with an undeniable reality. The motel was more than just a place for weary travelers. It was a domain where the line between the living and the dead blurred frightfully. In the dead of night, the couple stumbled upon the horrifying discovery of hidden cameras meticulously placed throughout their room. Every corner seemed to be under surveillance, turning their temporary haven into a chilling cage of watchful eyes. The feeling of violation was palpable, the air thick with betrayal and fear. Attempting to flee, they found the motel's layout had morphed into an incomprehensible labyrinth. Corridors twisted and turned back on themselves, doors led to nowhere, and staircases looped in endless cycles. Panic set in as the realization dawned that the motel was designed to confuse and entrap its guests. The motel's sinister past soon came to light, revealing a series of disappearances dating back years. Guests checked in but never left, vanishing without a trace. The local lore was filled with whispered tales of the motel's appetite for souls, a place where the missing were never found. In desperation, they dialed for the police, their voices shaky with terror. But as they pleaded for help, the line crackled and went ominously silent. The isolation was complete. They were cut off from the outside world, left to face the motel's dark secrets alone. Their final encounter with the motel keeper was the stuff of nightmares. Behind his courteous facade lay a ghastly secret, a pact with darkness that kept the motel thriving on fear and misery. The confrontation was harrowing, a battle of wills against a backdrop of creeping shadows and whispered threats. As the flames danced in the night, consuming the sinister motel, the couple watched, hearts pounding in their chests. They had barely escaped with their lives, fleeing the twisted keeper and his ghastly secret. The fire illuminated their relieved yet haunted faces as they realized the nightmare was finally over. In the quiet aftermath, the motel's ruins smoldered, a charred testament to the horrors that transpired. Questions lingered in the air, as thick as the smoke. What happened to those who had vanished before them? The couple knew they were lucky to escape, but the mystery of the motel remained, unsolved and ominous. Our second tale tonight tells of a lone traveler, weary from the road, found refuge in a mountain motel that seemed cozy at first glance. The warm lights and inviting facade masked the dread that lay within. As night fell, an unsettling feeling of being watched crept over him, even though he was the only guest. The room, quaint and seemingly innocuous, held disturbing paintings whose expressions twisted and changed in the flickering candlelight. A locked door, unyielding and cold, vibrated with an energy that sent shivers down his spine. It was as if the very walls of the motel whispered secrets meant to be forgotten. Voices, soft and desperate, pleaded for help from within the walls, their origins a mystery. The traveler, curiosity piqued but heart racing, couldn't ignore their calls. Each plea pulled him deeper into the motel's grasp, revealing a hidden basement filled with remnants of those who had come before and never left. The locked door in the traveler's room pulsated with an unsettling energy, as if hinting at the untold secrets it guarded. Despite every rational instinct advising against it, curiosity overpowered fear. The door's surface was cold to the touch, vibrating with a frequency that made the air around it hum with anticipation. Disturbed by the night's eerie silence, the traveler was suddenly jolted awake by voices pleading for help. These were no ordinary echoes. They emanated from within the walls themselves. The desperate whispers painted a chilling tapestry of sorrow and unfulfilled destinies, compelling the traveler to uncover the source of these haunting pleas. In his search for answers, the traveler stumbled upon a hidden basement. The air was thick with dust and despair, and scattered across the floor were belongings, a grim museum of those who had vanished. Each item told a story of a guest who had checked in but never left, their fates now a mystery. A ghostly child, pale and ethereal, appeared out of the shadows. With silent gestures, she beckoned the traveler to follow. She guided him through the labyrinthine corridors, revealing the dark secrets that the motel had kept hidden. Through her eyes, he saw the remnants of rituals and sacrifices, the motel's foundation steeped in malevolence. The harrowing journey through the motel's past led to a shocking discovery. It served as a facade for a sinister cult. The practices conducted within its walls were not only ungodly, but had imbued the place with a powerful, dark energy. The traveler realized he had to escape before becoming another soul trapped in its grasp. In the dead of night, under a blanket of stars, a lone traveler found himself fleeing through the dense woods, his breath ragged, heart pounding. Behind him, the cursed motel seemed to stretch its sinister vibes, as if the very trees whispered warnings. The realization hit him hard. The motel was a reflection of his darkest fears, a mirror to the soul he tried so hard to hide from. With civilization miles away, every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves felt like the motel's curse reaching out, trying to drag him back. The traveler pushed on, fueled by adrenaline and the terrifying knowledge of what lay behind. The woods, once a place of solace, now felt like a labyrinth designed to confuse and ensnare. As dawn broke, the first rays of sunlight pierced through the dense canopy, offering a glimmer of hope. The traveler, exhausted but determined, finally emerged from the treacherous woods. The ordeal was over, but the scars it left were deep, a constant reminder of the night he faced his deepest fears. The story didn't end at the edge of the woods. The cursed motel, with its dark history and sinister secrets, remained. Unexplained, unexplored, the motel stood as a beacon for the curious and the brave. But for the traveler, it was a chapter closed, a nightmare to be left in the past. Yet the world is full of dark corners and unexplained mysteries. The cursed motel, with its ability to manifest one's darkest fears, remains a chilling testament to the unknown. The traveler's harrowing escape serves as a warning to those seeking to uncover the secrets that lie in the shadows, reminding us that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. Our third and final tale brings us to a group of friends arrived at the infamous desert motel, their spirits high and laughter echoing under the vast, starlit sky. Despite the motel's eerie reputation, they viewed their stay as an adventure, a unique story to share. The desolate surroundings and the motel's dilapidated facade only added to their excitement, as they playfully dared each other to face the rumored haunts head-on. Upon entering the dimly lit lobby, a musty smell greeted them, along with an old guest book lying on the reception desk. Curiosity piqued, they flipped through its pages, finding warnings scrawled by previous guests, all urging in frantic handwriting to leave immediately. This discovery sent a chill down their spines, transforming amusement into a creeping sense of dread. As night enveloped the motel, a sudden power outage plunged their rooms into darkness. Isolation from the outside world became palpable, the playful daring turning into uneasy silence. The dark, empty desert seemed to close in on them, and the realization that they were truly alone, cut off from any help, began to sink in. Venturing outside to explore the surroundings by the light of their flashlights, they stumbled upon the pool area. There, an encounter with a dark, shapeless entity near the water's edge left them frozen in terror. The entity, a swirling mass of shadows, seemed to observe them with a malevolent curiosity, its presence unexplained and intentions unknown. The friends' initial excitement had now fully transformed into a fight or flight response. Driven by a mix of fear and determination, they decided to explore the motel further. Their exploration led them to a room sealed with caution tape, its door ajar, inviting yet forbidding. Little did they know, crossing its threshold would change the course of their night entirely. Inside the sealed room, the group discovered a portal, unlike anything they had ever seen. It pulsed with a sinister energy, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. The air around it hummed with power, and it was clear this was no ordinary feature of a decrepit motel. One by one, the friends faced their deepest fears, as if the portal had a mind of its own, tempting and testing them. These encounters were not just terrifying, they were deeply personal, stripping the friends of their bravado and leaving them vulnerable. It was as though the portal knew them better than they knew themselves. Together, they realized that to leave the motel behind, they must confront the malevolent force that lurked within. It was a battle not just for survival, but for their very souls. The motel, with its dark history, was merely a shell for something far more sinister that now demanded their attention. The ritual to close the portal was their final stand. Drawing on strength they didn't know they had, they faced the motel's demonic caretaker in a battle that tested their resolve. The air crackled with energy as the portal began to close, the motel shaking as if in protest. As dawn broke, the friends departed, exhausted, but alive. They left the motel behind, its facade unchanged as if mocking the night's events. A final glance back confirmed their fears. The motel stood silent, waiting for its next unwary guests, its secrets sealed once more behind its decaying walls. As the friends drove away, weary and worn from their harrowing ordeal, they couldn't help but cast one final glance back at the desert motel. Despite the chaos and terror they had endured, the building sat quietly under the rising sun, its eerie calm belying the malevolent forces that lingered within. Unchanged and undisturbed, it stood as a silent sentinel in the desert, ominously awaiting its next unsuspecting visitors. This brings us to the end of our trilogy for this evening. We hope you have enjoyed our cautionary tales. If you would like to see more of our horror stories, please like and subscribe to our channel to enjoy more terror tales. For now, sleep well, viewer, and we hope to see you next time.